Welcome back to the Literary Apothecary. My name is Kate and I'm here today to give you guys a weekly reading update. Today is July 5th. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I finished reading this week, what I'm currently reading, and what I looked forward to reading next. Now, so let's start with what I finished. I finished 2 books this week and they were doozies. The first is Only a Grave Will Do by James Lloyd Doolin. This is the final book in the Malatu's trilogy. And this book just blew me out of the water. While I was reading this book, I kept thinking, I think book 2 is still my favorite, just by a smidge. By the time I finished reading Only a Grave Will Do and starting to think of my reviews for it, I couldn't stop thinking about this book. I thought about this book 3 times more than I thought about book 2, No Safe Haven, in the Malatu series. This book was so good. It had me crying throughout the whole book. There were most of the chapters, once I got to like the last 25%, I cried in most of those chapters. Some I was just a mess. I was sobbing by the end of this. It was just so well done, written with such emotion and heart. If you loved No Heart for a Thief, and especially if you loved No Safe Haven, you have to pick up Only a Grave Will Do. If you want an indigenous fantasy fiction series that will just grab your heart and not let go, written with heart and emotion and just really well done writing that just improves from each book, pick up the Malatu series by James Lloyd Doolin. You will not regret it. The next book that I finished was book 12 in the Dresden Files series. That's Changes by Jim Butcher. And this book was such a wild ride. There was so much that happened in this book, but it never felt overwhelming to me. I think, at least from where I'm at right now, this book is the best book in the series by far. Not even a question about it. I can't wait to see where it goes because this one kind of left us on a cliffhanger. So I'm hoping within the next couple weeks I can knock out the next short story and then jump right into book 13 because I gotta see where this goes. And speaking of cliffhangers, that leaves me to my current reads, which I'm currently in the middle of. We have Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. This book I am really enjoying. This is my favorite Robin Hobb book so far, and I can't wait to continue reading it. I'm really getting into this one. I'm also reading The Unwilling by Kelly Braffett, and this book is really starting to pick up now. It's getting really interesting to me, and I can't wait to see where it all goes. And then I'm currently in the middle of listening to the audiobook version of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is another one of those books where I had it on my Audible account and now all of a sudden Audible is telling me that by a certain date it's going to be gone and locked and I'd have to pay extra for it or something. I don't know how that all works. I just try to listen to the books before the date that it lists so that way I don't have to worry about it. I love this book so much. Every time I read it, it just feels like coming home. I just love it so much. The last book that I'm currently reading, well, the last novel that I'm currently reading, I'll say, is The Rave by J.R. Trask. And this is a book that I didn't know I needed until I started reading it. It's about a teenage monster hunter, essentially, and I am loving it. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of the really long chapters. Some of them are like 30-45 minutes long. Not a fan of those, but I am really excited to see what happens in this book and where it goes. I'm still very early because I just started it I think yesterday or the day before that, so I think I'm on chapter 3 or 4, but I'm really enjoying this book. It has been on my TBR for so long, so I'm really glad I finally got around to this. Some other things that I am still kind of making my way through, as you'll know, is the Outlandish Companion Volume Number 2. Slowly making my way through that as a slow read because that's more of a reference guide. Right now I'm in the summary part of the books 5 through 8, I think it is. And it's really kind of bringing back some things that I forgot about in those books. So that's going to make me excited to continue my reread of the Outlander series. I'm also still reading Alan Rickman's diaries, which I was gifted to by my friend Leslie. I decided, because these diary entries are dated, I've been matching up today's date with the date in the diary and reading just that part. So it's a very slow read, but it's so interesting to learn of Alan Rickman through this way. And then, of course, I have my short story collections going and my essays, and making slow but good progress on those. So that brings me to what I'm going to be reading next. So my next physical read will be The Raven Scholar by Antonio Hodgson. This is a book that I did a library hold, I think like late at night or early in the morning one day. I don't remember requesting The Raven Scholar at my library, but I got a notification the other day that it is available, and it's been a big hit on Ben and Grace's Discord, so I am looking forward to seeing how I get along with that. My second next physical read, because I usually have two going, will be a John pick, so I'm hoping to get either Matship or The Unwilling finished by the time I'm back in the office on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, so I can pick up The Raven Scholar and just start right on that. And then once I finish the other one, I'll start in another physical read, which John is going to pick from my books that I currently own. My next audiobook will probably be Murder, She Knit, which is book 1 in that series by Peggy Earnhardt. This is another one of those Audible books that are going to be going away soon, so I want to be able to get and read that before it goes away from my account. That's all I know right now. We'll see when my ARC request comes through from NetGalley for Hexologist Book 2. Whenever that comes in, I'll likely start on that very soon. Since that comes out in September, I want to get it read and reviewed and everything done before that release date, and things get really busy again with work. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite reading moment in this past week? What are you looking forward to reading this most in this next week? As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.